If any nation in the world understands about mental fragility at peak moments in a sporting calendar, in a sporting career, in a sporting orbit, it's the All Blacks. It's New Zealand. A team that's been consistently at the top of world rugby and yet hasn't been able to nail the Rugby World Cup knockout fixtures until 2011, post 1987. And tournament after tournament just exacerbated the challenges. And it's not something you can talk about abstractly. It's not something you can say, well, we've played these test matches, we've won this series, we've been there, therefore it's sorted. The All Blacks had to go through pretty significant psychological waters to be able to navigate to the safety buoy in the middle of Rugby World Cup 2011 in the grand final, in the final. It's grand if you win, it's not grand if you don't. In the final, they had to trawl through those waters in real time. That was the only way they were able to overcome. We saw the difference in 2015 when they potentially are one of those teams, one of those units that they'll be the standard of comparison, because that was not only did it have some once-in-a-generation players, Carter and McCaw, but it also was able to execute. It also had that, for want of a better term, the aura. And so Ireland Rugby World Cups, they've had a great run. No doubt. They're the number one team. No doubt. They have the game that seems like it's not going to break easy. But they're not going to know until they get into the context whether or not they're going to be able to handle it. Graham Henry talked about 2011, the Rugby World Cup final. I was standing. I think I was standing at the time. May have been sitting. Struggling to cope with that second half. Sending out a message on Twitter at the time. I think this is torment. The tension was not even palpable. It's beyond palpability. You started to think, not again. Not again. If the All Blacks get in front early, the All Blacks are in front in the second half, they're going to be there. The ghosts, the zombie will be that record. It's happening again. Because all what's transpired in every other World Cup means that the subsequent tournament is raised. We can get a flat platform. Raised and raised and raised and raised and raised. And so you know the height you're at. Ireland are the favourites. People in New Zealand are even picking Ireland. And yet, rugby, as the All Blacks have proven in 91, 95, 99, 03, 7, that you're not necessarily going to win just because your record indicates that should be the outcome. You're not just going to win because you're the favourites. Teams rise. Teams rise. And now the hunted is the hunter. And I think we will see that on early Sunday morning. Well, not early Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Sunday morning New Zealand time, Saturday night France time. That's what the sense coming through this week has been. It's been very interesting, if I can say it. I don't think I've quite experienced that. The sense of focus, the sense of anticipation, the sense of, I've used it previously, redemption. The All Blacks are not just viewing this as a quarterfinal, but this is an opportunity to begin to put right the past 4 years. The All Blacks understand the challenges. They've gone through the challenges. And it's only going to be the 80 minutes and a successful execution of those 80 minutes that will relieve Ireland of the weight that is hanging over them, a weight they may not even give credence to as they sit in their hotel rooms, as they practice, until it happens and they're in the middle of it. Excuse me. It's getting to me. That's when we'll see if they're able to journey through, which makes it a Rugby World Cup, which underscores why you are the champions of the world, because any team can play really well. Now, that's maybe a bit of an overstatement, but you can win test matches. A Rugby World Cup draws out, draws forth. And so everyone is seeking the summit at the same time. And that's what makes it such a wonderful moment, occasion, and time to see what will transpire. What do you think? Are Ireland mentally fragile? Can they handle it? If I'm the All Blacks, I'm considering seriously about what buttons to push, if I should push any buttons, whose buttons I should push, or maybe just staying Steely Dan focused. Good on you, mate. We'll see. However, it is a challenge. Whether or not they admit to it, whether or not they want to talk about it, in the 80, look for it. Because if it's close or Ireland behind, it won't just be an idea that we talked about in a YouTube channel. It will be in their head. And that will be the zombie they must defeat. What say you? I'm Johnny King.